This is a very sad story, and I feel so bad. And this is a moment where I'm not proud to be Kenyan. How can we mistreat our sportsmen and women to this level where people have to go begging in Germany for other Kenyans to help them out? When in Kenya, we have a Ministry of Sports, we have a Minister of Sports, we have a budget for the Ministry of Sports, but still we have our athletes who are the first image of selling Kenya to the world, but then they are sleeping in a dorm where it's just, like if Kenyans of goodwill did not come through for them, these people would be stuck in the airport sleeping down there like they don't matter to us. That's so wrong. And for the Minister of Sports, Kipchumba Murkomen, and your team at the ministry, please fix this nonsense. We are tired. This is not the first time we are seeing sportsmen being mistreated, and we can't allow this to continue. This is bad, this is terrible, and this is so wrong. And this comes days after actually the minister tweeted, and this I'm reading from his X account, very proud of our women's national amputee football team, which has had a great run in the 2024 Women's Amputee Football World Cup in Colombia. Even though we've suffered our first loss of the tournament this morning in the hands of the hosts, Colombia, in the semis, that is 1-0, the spirit and determination is inspiring. All the best in the fight for the third place against Poland. And he even posted the photos of our athletes donning the national team jersey, and they look so good. But then again, is it because they didn't become number 3 that you expected? Now that they're number 4 that you've allowed them to be mistreated? Is it? Like, what is the reason? I don't understand, I don't get it, and I feel bad for them. And basically, Kenyans are actually angry online because of the video. So the national women's team was returning from Colombia, where they had competed in the World Cup and finished 4th place. They had a layover in Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, and when they got there, the ministry or whoever was in charge or whoever has the budget did not get them hotels to sleep in or to rest. Imagine these guys have been representing the country, Kenya. They were flying our flag high out there, became number 4. But no, they did not have anywhere to live. So what happens? They reached to Kenyans living in Germany, and Kenyans living in Germany stepped up and decided to support the amputee football team, and they provided them with accommodation, food, during their long layover in Berlin. You can actually watch this video here and tell me what you think about it. When the team got there and they felt that they were abandoned by both the federation, because we have a sports federation, we have the amputee, I think, committee that caters for that, and the Ministry of Sport, the team reached out to other Kenyans in Germany for assistance. Can you imagine if, and in assuming we didn't have Kenyans of goodwill in Germany, what would that mean for them? Like, why would we have people wearing our jerseys, representing Kenya, marketing Kenya to the world, but we are mistreating them to a point that it's Kenyans of goodwill who come through for them? Why? Why are we allowing these things to happen? So in response, the community in Germany secured a shelter and meals for the team before their connecting flight back to Nairobi. And this is a point I want to say thank you to each and every Kenyan who was involved in ensuring that our fellow patriots, our ambassadors of sports, were well taken care of in your hands. Where the ministry failed, you stepped up, and we totally appreciate you, and Kenyans really appreciate you, and that's the spirit of patriotism. However, that spirit of patriotism should start from home. Whenever the Ministry of Sports is sending sportsmen and women out there, those are our first ambassadors to the world. The way we treat them says a lot about the ministry. And Makiu, I went through the budget for 2024-25 that's given to the sports ministry, and I found that 16.5 billion was allocated for sports in the year 2024-2025. And this was done during when Professor Njuguna Ndugu, who was then the minister for Treasury, was reading the budget. So imagine if all this money was given, 16.5 billion, and this was on 13th June. We are now in November 13th. You want to tell me we hadn't planned for these things? Like, seriously, are we that irresponsible as a country? Why on earth would we have a minister come read a budget, allocate the money to the sports ministry and the Ministry of Sports? What is more important than catering for our athletes that you're doing? What are you doing with that money then? because we need to know what you're doing with the money. And the budget, one of the things that was raised that Professor Nungu mentioned during that reading is that we are cognizant of the brand value of Kenyans participating and excelling in international sports arena. That is what the Treasury Minister said, and he proposed an allocation of 16.5 billion to the sports and arts and social development to make sure that the brand value that these sportsmen and women are giving to the world is taken care of. But then again, then you can tell us what you've done with the 16.5 billion, because this is not it. Our athletes getting help from Kenyans and getting a dormitory to sleep in, that's not it. That is not where that is not worth 16.5 billion. Okay, you may tell us you're working on stadiums, then tell us which stadium you've constructed perhaps with that money. Like, you need to show us something you've done, something substantial you've done with that money, except traveling for benchmarking, traveling for, a whole delegation going to watch other people run, going for marathons and, all this. Really? So who is more important, our sportsmen or you who sits in an air-conditioned office? That's terrible. Like, we are so disappointed in you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. One of the things that was to be done with this budget was support for international events, funds allocated to prepare for major upcoming events, like what they were going to do for Africa Cup of Nations and the Paris Olympics Games. All these things, these are the things that this 16.5 billion was supposed to cater for. But no, there are other important issues, according to ministry officials perhaps, that they've done that we don't know. And this has actually angered so many Kenyans. And I also need to understand the Parliamentary Committee on Sports, which is led by Dan Wanyama as the chairperson. Please tell us, why were our sports men and women sleeping or going for help from aid from fellow Kenyans? Why? Like, what was your role as the sports committee? Like, are you even aware that is what was happening, or are you seeing it online like everyone else? Because then you have disappointed us. So, and this has elicited a lot of reactions from Kenyans online, and people are so angry. There's a Kenyan by the name Tea Kevin. He's one among the people who've also shared this video, and says Kenyans living in Germany stepped up to support the Kenyan Amputee Football team, providing accommodation and food during the long layover in Frankfurt. The national women's team, imagine this is our national women's team. This is Kenya's, like, top, creme de la creme, was returning from Colombia, where they had competed and finished fourth. This video, when you look at it, and then you see these guys got food, like, it's packaged very well. Like, they have some food, I think burgers, fruits, and water and all that. But then, is this how we treat our national team? This is our national treasure. Why are we mistreating them? Because this is not good treatment. Kipchumba Murkomen, if you are one of the players, would you be happy to be going through this? The sports committee and everyone in the sports space, officials, basically, would you be happy to be sleeping where these sportsmen and women are sleeping? That's not nice. It's very annoying and it's unfortunate, and I hope you can do better. One of the sportsmen who's been very consistent in calling out these people and asking for better is actually Dennis Ombachi, a former Olympic. He took us to the Olympics, and this is what he's posted to Kipchumba Murkomen. We don't need your sports academies if they are going to produce athletes to be treated like such. Player welfare is of utmost priority, and they should be accorded treatment akin to ambassadors they are. Kindly make that your priority before anything. I don't know how else we're going to communicate to the ministry, but if you go through all these tweets, Kenyans are tired. Politicians take sports as a joke in this country. You won't even hear someone castigate pesa washakula ya hospitality, and there's someone somewhere in Kenya who's going to vote. People are so disappointed in all this story that is going on, and we're just hoping that moving forward, Kipchumba Murkomen, CS, we respect you. We hope you can do better for this country. We hope you can do better for the sports ministry. Those are great ambassadors of this country. And if we continue treating them like that, then I don't know what sort of marketing or brand Kenya we want to push out there. And I am hoping heads will roll. This should never have happened. And we actually expect an apology to these great women and women in sports. respect them and allow them to enjoy every win and feel worth and feel taken care of as they represent Kenya. Thank you for watching, and you can actually share your feelings with us in the comment section and tell us what you think and what should be improved to make sports in Kenya better. By now, if you've not subscribed, please do subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode. I'm hoping it will be a happier moment and something to celebrate about Kenya. See you then.